Welcome to Beyond Matrix. Here we will be exploring the universe from creation, the primordial state, before the bang. According to the science, the universe began with singularity. Modern physics suggests the universe began as a singularity, a point of infinite density and heat where the laws of physics as we know them break down. What if space and time were created at the Big Bang? What existed before or outside of it? The Big Bang is a physical theory that describes how the universe expanded from an initial state of high density and temperature. Various cosmological models based on the Big Bang concept explain a broad range of phenomena, including the abundance of light elements, the cosmic microwave background, CMB, radiation, and large-scale structure. The uniformity of the universe, known as the horizon and flatness problems, is explained through cosmic inflation, a phase of accelerated expansion during the earliest stages. Detailed measurements of the expansion rate of the universe place the initial singularity at an estimated at approximately 13.787 plus or minus 0.02 billion years ago, which is considered the age of the universe. According to the Shiva Purana, the creation of the universe is a purposeful manifestation by which is now widely accepted being to experience, play. The process follows a specific hierarchy from the formless to the material world. The Vedic view, the unmanifest, the Nirguna, the Nasadya Sukt, Rig Veda 10.129, states, neither death nor immortality was then, nor was there any sign of night or day. Can consciousness exist without a physical vessel or a universe to perceive? Vedic thought posits Brahman as the material cause. The universe didn't come out of nothing, but transitioned from a potential state avyakta to a kinetic state vyakta. The emergence of Sadashiva and Shakti, in the beginning, before time or space, only the formless Nirguna Brahman, pure consciousness, existed. Sadashiva wishing to create, the formless being first manifested as Sadashiva, also called Ishvara, a form endowed with all qualities and power. Adi Shakti, from Sadashiva's own body, the physical form of Shakti, also known as Ambika or Prakriti, was created. The union of Shiva and Shakti is the fundamental cause of all subsequent creation. Creation of the Trinity, Vishnu, Brahma, and Rudra. Sadashiva and Shakti created the three primary deities to oversee the cosmic functions. Lord Vishnu, born from the left side of Sadashiva, Vishnu was entrusted with the task of preservation. Lord Brahma, born from the lotus in Vishnu's navel, Brahma was assigned the task of creation. The material universe and elements. The physical universe was projected through a sequential manifestation of elements. The five elements, Brahma, under the bidding of Shiva, evolved the five gross elements Bhagwan, Bh Bhumi, Earth, A Agni, Fire, G Gagan, Sky, Va Vayu, Air, and Near, Water. The primordial trigger, inflation vs. Spanda, focus, the transition from static potential to kinetic expansion. The science, cosmic inflation. Between 10 to the power, minus 36, and 10 to the power, minus 32, seconds after the singularity, the universe underwent a period of exponential expansion. In a fraction of a second, the universe grew from the size of an atom to roughly the size of a galaxy. If gravity is an attractive force, what could possibly provide a repulsive force strong enough to push the entire fabric of space-time apart at speeds exceeding light? Physicists propose the existence of the inflaton field. Think of this as a false vacuum. Imagine a ball sitting on top of a hill. It has massive potential energy. When that ball rolls down a phase transition, it releases that energy. This release created a negative pressure that acted as repulsive gravity, doubling the size of the universe every 10 to the power, minus 37, seconds. C. Alan Guth's The Inflationary Universe, 1981, describes a radical idea about the earliest moments of existence, proposing that the universe did not expand slowly and steadily from the Big Bang, but instead went through an unimaginably rapid burst of expansion in its first tiny fraction of a second. During this brief phase, space itself stretched exponentially, transforming a region smaller than an atom into one large enough to become the entire observable universe we see today. This expansion was not matter racing through space faster than light, but space itself growing, which does not violate relativity. This idea was introduced to resolve deep puzzles in cosmology. One of these was the mystery of why distant parts of the universe appear almost identical in temperature and structure, despite seemingly having no time to communicate with each other. Inflation suggests that these regions were once close together and in thermal contact before being driven far apart by rapid expansion. Another puzzle involved the apparent geometric flatness of the universe. Inflation naturally explains this by stretching space so dramatically that any original curvature becomes almost imperceptible, much like the surface of a balloon appearing flatter as it inflates. It also accounts for the absence of exotic particles predicted by early particle physics theories, as inflation would have diluted them to such low densities that they are effectively undetectable. Ultimately, the inflationary universe reshaped modern cosmology by offering a coherent and testable framework for understanding the universe's earliest moments. Guth's work did more than solve technical problems in the Big Bang theory. It changed how scientists and thinkers approach questions of origin, structure, and meaning, placing the birth of the cosmos at the intersection of physics, philosophy, and imagination. The Vedic view. The Upanishads and Agama texts describe the first stir of the Absolute as spanda, divine vibration. This is often equated with Shabda Brahman, the sound absolute, encapsulated by the sacred syllable Om, Eum. Why is sound, vibration, described as the precursor to matter, rather than light or heat? The nature of Gagan, in Vedic cosmology, the first element to manifest is space. The inherent quality, guna, of space is shabda, sound, vibration. Logic dictates that before you can have particles, you must have a medium, space, that is active, vibrating. The string theory parallel. Modern string theory suggests that the fundamental building blocks of the universe are not point-like particles, but tiny, vibrating loops of string. Just as a guitar string produces different notes based on its vibration, these cosmic strings produce different particles, electrons, quarks, based on their frequency. Refer to the Mandukya Upanishad for the breakdown of Aum as the three states of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and dissolution. The Vedic view, the Jyotirlinga, pillar of fire. The fact, in the Shiv Puran, Vidyeshwara Sanhita, a cosmic dispute between Brahma, the creative force, and Vishnu, the sustaining force, is interrupted by the appearance of a Jyotirlinga, a pillar of fire that had no beginning, no middle, and no end. Why does the text emphasize that neither the top nor the bottom could be found? The Purana uses this allegory to describe Ananta, infinity. Shiva here is not a localized deity but the personification of the totality of space-time. By failing to find the ends of the pillar, the deities acknowledge that the source of the universe is beyond 3D measurement, it is an ever-expanding, infinite coordinate system. Shiva Purana, verse 7. In the Shiva Purana, verse 7 continues the unfolding vision of Shiva as the supreme, formless reality who becomes accessible to the universe through will and compassion. This chapter emphasizes that before creation took shape, Shiva existed as pure consciousness, unchanging, limitless, and beyond attributes, yet fully capable of manifesting the cosmos without diminishing his transcendence. Creation is presented not as an act of effort, but as a spontaneous expression of divine awareness. The chapter explains that Brahma and Vishnu, though immensely powerful, arise within this greater reality and function according to Shiva's cosmic design. Their roles as creator and preserver are shown as complementary forces operating under the supreme principle of Shiva, who remains both immanent in creation and detached from it. This subtly dissolves ego and hierarchy, reminding the listener that even the highest gods are instruments of a deeper truth. A central theme of the chapter is knowledge, jnana, versus ignorance, avidya. The universe appears bound, divided, and restless when perceived through ignorance, but the same universe is revealed as Shiva himself when seen through true knowledge. Liberation is not described as reaching somewhere else, but as recognizing what has always been present. Shiva is portrayed as both the bondage and the release, the question and the answer. Chapter 7 also reinforces devotion as a direct path to realization. Shiva is shown to be easily pleased by sincerity rather than ritual complexity. Devotion grounded in understanding leads the seeker beyond fear, death, and illusion, into the still awareness where Shiva is realized as one's own inner self. This blends metaphysics with lived spirituality, making the teaching experiential rather than abstract. Overall, this chapter serves as a bridge between cosmology and inner realization. It does not merely describe how the universe came into being, but why existence itself is meaningful. Reality, according to this chapter, is not something to escape from but something to awaken within, where Shiva is known not as a distant god, but as the very essence of consciousness itself. The science, the cosmological principle and isotropic expansion. Modern cosmology is built on the cosmological principle, which states that the universe, on a large scale, is isotropic, looks the same in all directions, and homogeneous. If the Big Bang was an explosion, where is the center of the universe? Just as the Jyotirlinga had no center or ends, the Big Bang happened everywhere at once. Space itself is expanding. If you were to travel in any direction, you would never find an edge or a starting point in space, because the expansion is happening at every coordinate simultaneously. The pillar of fire represents the high-energy plasma state of the early universe that exists everywhere. The science, the primeval atom hypothesis. In 1927, Lemaitre used Einstein's equations of general relativity to show that the universe is expanding. In 1931, he went further, proposing that if we rewind the expansion, all matter must have been concentrated into a single point. If the universe is a clock, who or what wound it up? Lemaitre called this origin the primeval atom, or the cosmic egg. He reasoned that at the moment of t equals 0, the entropy was 0, and a single atom contained all the energy and mass that would eventually form 100 billion galaxies. Lemaitre's landmark paper in Nature, 1931, The Beginning of the World from the Point of View of Quantum Theory. The Vedic view, the Hiranyagarbha, the golden embryo. Thousands of years prior, the Rig Veda and Matsya Purana described the origin as the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranya equals golden, radiant. Garbha equals womb, egg, seed. Why is the start of the physical universe compared to a biological seed or egg? Just as Lemaitre's primeval atom contained the blueprint for everything, the Hiranyagarbha is described as a concentrated glow containing the blueprints, Vedas, knowledge of all future forms. Both the scientist and the sage concluded that the universe did not start large and empty, but small and infinitely dense. The argument, why Lemaitre is essential. Lemaitre's reasoning provides a crucial fact. The universe is not static. Science versus philosophy. Before Lemaitre, most scientists, including Einstein initially, believed the universe was steady state, it had always existed. Lemaitre forced science to accept a beginning. The Vedic resonance, this shifted the scientific narrative toward the Vedic narrative of Srishti, creation or projection. Fact and argument. The fact, when Lemaitre proposed the primeval atom, Einstein famously told him, "Your calculations are correct, but your physics is abominable." Einstein hated the idea of a beginning because it looked too much like creation. The reasoning, later, after Hubble proved galaxies were moving away, Einstein apologized. This proves that logic, Vedic and scientific, eventually triumphs over the static bias of the human mind. The opposition to the Big Bang and the logic of an unborn universe. The science, the steady-state theory. The fact, Fred Hoyle, a brilliant British astronomer, was the lead architect of the steady-state theory. He famously coined the term, Big Bang, during a 1949 BBC radio broadcast to mock the idea that the universe had a violent, singular beginning. The question, is it more logical to believe in a moment of creation, from nothing, or a universe that is eternal and constant? The reasoning, Hoyle argued that the universe has no beginning and no end. He proposed the C field, creation field, which suggests that as the universe expands, new matter is continuously created in the empty spaces to maintain a constant density. To Hoyle, the universe was a perfect system that didn't need a starting spark. The Vedic view, Sanatana, the eternal flow, the fact. In Vedic philosophy, the universe is often described as Sanatana, eternal, while individual universes may begin and end. The underlying existence is never created nor destroyed. The question, how can something be created if the source is already infinite? The reasoning, the Samkhya school of philosophy argues for Satkaryavada, the theory that the effect exists within the cause. Nothing new is ever created. It is merely a transformation of energy. Hoyle versus Veda. Hoyle's continuous creation mirrors the Vedic idea of Nitya Srishti, constant creation, where the divine energy is perpetually manifesting as matter at every moment, not just once 13.8 billion years ago. The nucleosynthesis argument, Hoyle's greatest contribution. The fact, despite his opposition to the Big Bang, Hoyle discovered stellar nucleosynthesis, how stars create heavy elements, carbon, oxygen, from hydrogen and helium. The reasoning, Hoyle realized that we are literally made of star stuff. The Vedic parallel, this perfectly aligns with the Shiva Purana's description of the Pancha Mahabhuta, 5 elements. The text explains that fire, Agni, is responsible for the transformation of subtle energy into gross matter. Scientific logic, just as the fire of stars creates the carbon in our bodies, the Vedic Agni is the transformative agency that turns the vibration of Om into physical atoms. Referral, the B2FH paper, 1957, co-authored by Hoyle, which laid the foundation for how elements are born in the universe. The argument for the presentation, Fred Hoyle's reasoning reminds us that expansion doesn't necessarily mean a beginning from zero. While science eventually moved toward the Big Bang due to the discovery of cosmic microwave background radiation, Hoyle's logic of continuous creation resonates with the Vedic view that the divine is actively maintaining and manifesting the universe in every passing second, rather than being a retired creator who started a clock and walked away. Roger Penrose and Conformal Cyclic Cosmology, CCC, concept, the universe is an infinite series of eons, where the end of one becomes the beginning of the next. The science, the eternal cycle of eons, the fact. Sir Roger Penrose, 2020 Nobel laureate, proposed conformal cyclic cosmology, CCC. He argues that the Big Bang was not the absolute beginning of space and time, but merely the transition from a previous eon. The question, what happens when the universe reaches heat death? All stars die, and only massless photons remain. The reasoning, Penrose suggests that in a universe populated only by massless particles, the concepts of scale, size, and time vanish. Mathematically, a cold, infinitely expanded universe is identical to a hot, infinitely dense Big Bang singularity. Therefore, the end of one universe naturally rebottles itself into the Big Bang of the next. The Vedic view, the Kalp cycles of Brahma, the fact, Vedic cosmology is fundamentally cyclic. A Kalp, one day of Brahma, lasts 4.32 billion years, followed by a Pralaya, dissolution, of equal length. This process repeats infinitely. The question, is the destruction of the universe a total deletion, or a reset? The reasoning, the Vedas state that during Pralaya, the universe doesn't disappear into nothingness, it enters a state of laya, absorption, merging, it returns to the seed state, Bindu, within the absolute. Penrose versus Veda. Penrose's massless state, where scale disappears, is a perfect scientific parallel to the Vedic Avyakta, unmanifest state, where dimensions and distinctions merge back into a singular potentiality before the next out-breath. The Great Dissolution, Entropy versus Mahapralay. How Shiva Puran and Vishnu Puran explain the end-beginning transition. The Shiva Puran, the Tandava, the dance of destruction. The argument, Shiva performs the Samhara Tandava, the dance that dissolves the physical universe. The fact, the text describes the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, space, collapsing back into one another in reverse order. The question, is destruction a chaotic act or a structured requirement for rebirth? The reasoning, in science, the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, states that the universe is moving toward maximum disorder, heat death. Shiva represents this entropy. However, the Shiva Puran argues that destruction is a cleansing of the canvas to allow for a new creation. Referral, Shiva Purana, Rudra Sanhita. The Vishnu Puran, the reabsorption. The argument, Vishnu, at the end of a cycle, takes the form of Rudra, a fierce aspect of Shiva, to dissolve the world, then returns to his form as Anantashyana, lying on the serpent of time. The fact, the Vishnu Purana explains that the universe is inhaled back into the body of the divine. The question, where does the information of our universe go when it ends? The reasoning, scientific parallel, the information paradox in black hole physics asks if information is lost when things are destroyed. The logic, the Vishnu Purana suggests a cosmic memory. The seeds of the previous universe are stored in the causal ocean, Karanodaka, ensuring that the next Big Bang follows the same fundamental laws, dharma or physics. The final argument for the presentation. The beginning is never a lonely event. Science, Penrose, Limita, and scripture, Shiva, Vishnu Puranas, converge on one inescapable logic: the universe is an infinite pulse. The science provides the mathematical geometry of the cycle. The Vedas provide the consciousness driving the pulse. The convergence of cosmic narratives. The journey from the singularity to the spanda, and from the primeval atom to the Hiranyagarbha, reveals a profound truth. The quest to understand our origins as a singular human endeavor, whether expressed through the language of mathematics or the metaphors of ancient scripture. Through this comparative study, we find that modern cosmology and Vedic philosophy are not conflicting ideologies, but rather complementary lenses focusing on the same ultimate reality. Key takeaways. The nature of the beginning. Science identifies a singularity of infinite density. The Vedas describe Nirguna Brahman, infinite consciousness. Both agree that the universe emerged from a state beyond the current laws of time and space. The mechanism of expansion, where physics proposes inflaton fields and quantum fluctuations, the Puranas describe the spanda, vibration, and the divine glance of Sadashiva. Both systems recognize that a primordial trigger was necessary to transition from potentiality to manifestation. The architecture of reality, the multiverse theory and eternal inflation find their ancient echoes in the breathing of Mahavishnu, where billions of cosmic eggs, universes, manifest and dissolve in a rhythmic, fractal cycle. The eternal pulse. Sir Roger Penrose's conformal cyclic cosmology provides a scientific framework for the Vedic cult, suggesting that the universe is an infinite series of rebirths. Closing thought, the infinite pulse. The beginning is not a point on a linear timeline, but a beat in an eternal pulse. As science moves closer to a theory of everything, it increasingly mirrors the Vedic conclusion that the universe is a purposeful, structured, and rhythmic projection of a deeper underlying reality. Whether we call it dark energy or sattva, inflation or srishti, the logic remains consistent. We live in a universe that is being perpetually breathed into existence. Truth is one, the wise call it by many names. In our next chapter we will try understand more deeper knowledge of Big Bang and the concept of multiverse. But still question remains whether or not the multiverse exists, or in a multiverse when one universe is dissolved other comes to existence. Thank you for watching. I hope you like our video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for amazing content. Join us for the search of truth.